The Oromo Gada system is a traditional system of governance and social organization practiced by the Oromo people. The Gada system is a democratic and egalitarian system that regulates political, economic, social, and religious life of the Oromo people. Key features of the Oromo Gada system include generational class or Gada grades. The Oromo society is divided into 5 to 8 generational classes, each serving a specific leadership role for an 8-year term. There is also a periodic transfer of power. Power is transferred from one Gada class to the next every 8 years through a ritual and election process. The system has built-in check and balance, with different Gada classes having different roles and responsibilities. Major decisions are made through consultative and consensus-building process involving the Gada Council. Gada system has something to contribute to the democratic and sustainable institution of governance in contemporary Ethiopian legal system, in particular in sub-Saharan African countries where democracy and rule of law are proclaimed but not translated into practice. It appears vital to look into alternatives that can govern the nation. The Gada democracy rules in federal states, building indigenous institutions of governance to the modern democracy came into focus. Through the Oromo people indigenous knowledge of governance, that is the Gada system, it embraces an ancient democratic value that are useful even today. However, bridging two separate institutions and political system is not without challenge. The incompatibilities arises from both political system, indigenous as well as the modern. However, they bear not only tensions but also solutions. Hence, tensions that arises from modern political system are sought to be addressed by embracing legally viable values of the Gada system through the instrumentality of federalism and legal pluralism. In this Gada episode, we will present you the main difference and similarities of the indigenous Oromo people Gada system and the modern federalism system. To illustrate the issue, we have invited Dr. Dheresa Dheebu from Jimma University. Stay tuned.
My name is Dr. Dheresa Dheebu. I am an instructor at Jimma University, an instructor of history and a researcher, and also I'm the director of Institute of Oromo Studies at Jimma University.
Dr. Dheresa Dheebu said the Gada system has privilege for all the members. In this whole process, the children acquire wisdom from their ancestors or their family.
Okay, thank you very much. Gada system is all-inclusive system that included every aspect of life, social, economic, and political. And in this case, all societies, according to their age and sex and every other dimensions, there are sharing of responsibilities and privileges. Accordingly, generationally, people divided into some 10 Gada grades. Those grades start from double grade, that is a birth up to 8 years. At this stage, individuals have special privilege, special rights, protections and the like, whereas they have very minimum responsibilities because they are very little kids. Then that is double. Then followed by Gamme. The Gamme stage is the stage at which from 9 up to 16, at which children began to perform light or not as such very difficult responsibilities, to discharge such kind of responsibilities, including not only responsibilities but also rights are there. Always rights and responsibilities are going together. So at this stage, children have the rights to learn every aspect of the life of the people, the culture of the people, and in such a way they sharpen their mind and they strengthen their body by performing different kinds of sporting, jumping, running, and the like, and also starting to, for example, to ride horses and the like. And also they have the responsibility of keeping cattle at least around the home, the calves and the like, and learn a lot, primary education.
In all stages, the intended member of the Gada grades will discharge their responsibility and exercise their right.
Then the third one is Folle, at Folle stage. It is the training time, secondary education. Very heavy responsibility being given to them to be trained well, both in mind and physically, and in such a way they took cattle to pasture areas known as Daraba or Fora, and began to protect the society from different kinds of attacks from or encroachments from outside. And then they are given all kinds of all-rounded kind of responsibilities and all kinds of trainings, and then pass to the Kondala stage, the fourth stage, the Kusa or the Kondala stage. At this stage, everybody have the responsibility to defend the society from any external attacks. And also at this stage, they got more and more education and more and more responsibilities. Then pass to the next stage, Rabadori. And in such a way, these 9 members serve the society very effectively by sharing power among themselves and giving responsibility of deciding in such a way. Then after that, after passing to the Luba, they enter into the Yuba stage. In some areas, the Gula stage. At this Yuba stage, there are 4 subdivisions. From 48 up to 56, the Yuba is the first. From 56 up to 64, Yuba is the second. From 64 up to 72, Yuba is the third. From 72 up to 80, Yuba the fourth. Those Yuba stages are responsible to advise the ruling class, the Luba stage, the Luba group, the Gogesa in the Luba stage, advising in different forms. The first Yuba advise up to from 75 up to 100%. Very effective advice given. And some of the responsibilities, especially in the lawmaking and executive or giving law, interpreting the law and the like, they serve very effectively. Then at second Yuba, the second Yuba serve as advisor from 50 up to 75%, minimizing or decreasing from first stage to the fourth stage. The third stage, the third Yuba stage, that is from 64 up to 72, they serve from 25 up to 50. And at the end, the fourth Yuba serve as advisor from 0 up to 25, highly declining because he's becoming aged. And after that, after 80, a man is known as Dheresa Dheebu, Gada Moji. They coming out. After that, again, as that of the Debele, they have no responsibilities except passing knowledge of the past, history of the society to the next generation. Not as such very wide responsibility they have. Their responsibility is almost ended, but privileges, protection, being pensionment, and treatment is given to them very effectively by the whole society. So, in such a way, Gada shared power among the generation, shared responsibilities and rights among generation.
In the system, when the leader finished his governing time, he transferred power to the other party in a peaceful manner. The Oromo people had been practicing such democratic deeds for centuries.
And also, not only that, they transfer power from one group of leaders to the other groups of leaders, the parties. There were about 10 parties when Gada was effectively working around when Gada became very mature and very effective after passing different eras of Gada, such as the Gada Bidroke, mysterious kind, I remember most of it, but so many years passed, about more than 5,400 passed with Bidroke. That means a kind of boat that is swallowed into mud in the water. And then Gada Taya, serving for 360 years, and transferring to Gada Tasa by being revived. After Taya and Tasa, Munyo, after Munyo Suftu, after Suftu Madile, Abroji, Itacha Warden. Those succeeded each other after serving 360 years each. That is about 2,880.
On the reviving stage of the Oromo Gada system, every clan of the Oromo people had their own center to practice the indigenous traditions governing system.
And then a subdivision of the major center, Madawalabu. In such a way, the Sikko and the Mando had their center first at different places, but finally clustered together at Odaroba, a little distance of more than a day at Odaroba. And the Itumbanna and the Kallo at Oda Bultum, the Wello at Oda Grado, or at Oda Grado, or Oda Makodi. And from this were the Barentu group, the Borana group, the western part, had their centers, originally common center at Oda Madawalabu, but for example, the Sabbo and the Gona, the southern Boran, had their center first at Mormor, then at Oda Gares, then at Guminga at Garo. And the Guji, or the Kontam Darimu, had their center first at Harogirja, then later at Meeboko, still up to this day. And the Tulam and the Mecha, the northern Boran, had their center, common center, first at Odanabe, but as the land of the Mecha expanded to the west, the Mecha in the west, the Mecha, especially the eastern Mecha, established their center at Odabisil, reviving the old one, or the Oromduri center, Odabisil, Bisil Osole. Then the western ones established, those who moved to the west, again had their center, for example, in Wallaga, Oda Bulluk, in Lubabor, Oda Dogi, and here in Shenangibe, later Shenangibe, Oda Hulle. So in such a way, there were divisions of power, regionally also. So in such a way, these are the reflections of federalism. A kind of federations were there in Gada for a long time. So this is, in general, the characteristics of the Gada. They are the reflections of democratic and federated kind of systems in the world.
In the Oromo Gada system, unlike the other governing system, it is impossible to be a leader under the age of 40, which is the exemplary to the world community.
For example, a person given a power at child, even at child state, for example, in monarchical status. But in Oromo, it was impossible to be given the utmost power below 40 years. At 40 years, a man is very mature, very mature, mind, spiritually, and also he is physically still strong. So can solve problems wisely, not by force. If children given power, children cannot even lead themselves, let alone the society. If the power is given to the somewhat adolescent stage or youngster stage, such a person tried to solve every problem by force. So power is given at mature stage, at middle stage, at middle age, around 40 up to 48. After that, a man is decreasing, becoming old and old. So because of that advisory stage, from advisory stage decreasing, and finally coming out of Gada to Gadamukhi stage. So maturity is given to solve local issue at local level, but having commonalities at the main center. So these are the reflections of Gada, and the modern ones could learn a lot for this. The modern democratic principles and the federal principles can be learned a lot from the Gada principles, both in democratic system and also in the federal issues.
In the Gada system, the decision has been made by sole discussion to reach on consensus.
As I said, Gada system devolved and shared power very at different directions, at different aspects, at local level, at individual levels, giving responsibilities and rights at different stages, at different Gada grades and the like, and also at local areas from bottom to top, and giving power of decision to different localities, and participating everything. Even Gada's meeting is not called meeting, it is known as Qixxe. Qixxe means equality. Those who are in the assembly are always empowered to air their views in public. So everybody is being listened. In the democratic states, in the democratic countries, both in federal and unitary states, decision is being made, even in democratic countries, by majority rule and the minority right. But in Gada system, it is based on consensus. Even up to individual, everybody is consulted and his view is taken into consideration, into account. If they couldn't agree, they postpone the decision for tomorrow and again try to convince that person, if it is for the common good. But if the idea of the person, even one person, is more important than of the group, they take into consideration and they work with that. So this and other so many things that I discussed are characteristics or characteristic features of silent characteristic features of the Gada federalism, the Gada democratic principles.
Though federalism has been exercised in the modern world, the Oromo people had been practicing sharing of power since the Gada system had been functional.
Gada system is sharing power, federalism is sharing power. So sharing power at different stages, at individual stages, according to the age, according to the localities, according to the sex, as Gada is there, in which power is mostly because of transportation and other problems by males, to move from one area to the other because the women have their own responsibility at home, for example, giving birth and upbringing children or rearing children and the like is strong responsibility, burden given to them. So for that, as a compensation in economic issue, for example, in the property collected to the home, the male had no power to decide upon that, including upon the cattle, upon the harvested crops taken into granaries, the male had no power. So, as per the sex, as per the age, as per the region, and as per the ruling classes, the Gugessas and the like, there are sharing of power. And the ruling together is also there by sharing the power, devolving the power, devolution of power, and shared rule and the devolved or federated rule are there in the Oromo Gada system. So there is very strong relationship between the two, and one learn a lot, especially the modern federal system can learn a lot from the Gada system. So what I said at the beginning, the age grading system are the grades that started from Dabbale, then Gamme, then Folle, Kondala, Rabadori, Luba, Yuba first, Yuba second, Yuba third, fourth, then get up to Gadamoji. These are the grades.
The Ethiopian monarchical era was highly pressurized and influenced the democratic institutions of the other Ethiopian nations, in never compared with that of the Oromo indigenous Gada system.
Ethiopian national politics, especially for a long time, as of 19th century especially, it was the northern system that superimposed upon the Oromo and the other southern people. And in such a way, it highly pressurized the democratic institutions, federal institutions such as Gada of the Oromo, Shir of the Somali, Lua of the Sidama, Balle of the Gedio, Tsalta of the Konso, and the like. And even the systems among the Nuer, the Anywa, and the like in the West were highly pressurized by the northern system. The northern system was the system of monarchy that transferred power from generation to generation, from son to father, hereditary kind of power. Even at the age of 1, being at the breastfeeding stage, a children given power with their own regent, either mother or very influential lord or Rasputin and the like, gave him power as regent, and then children ruled the country. But that was very ineffective, and it was highly harmful, highly notorious, and highly autocratic, and cannot be compared with that of the Gada structure, the Gada democratic and federal system. So that influence was there in Ethiopia as of 1900 up to 1974, as of the creation of this modern Ethiopian state by the northerners conquering the southern peoples and pressurizing and abolishing the local systems such as Gada and others. So in such a way, from which we can learn a lot, we couldn't learn in the past. But as of 1960s, there were movements by students, there were rebellions by the peasants, there were protests and the like by even some notable nobilities and notable war leaders and the like, such as Balai Zellaka, Lako, Galgalgaltu, and others such as Takala Olawariat, Nagash Bezabe, and the like, and the latter in organizational culture by taking the symbol of Gada. Machatulama Welfare Association was established by the Oromo and led the resistance of the Oromo, tried to organize the resistances of the peasants of the Oromos. At Rabadori stage, they come nearer to the ruling class, the Luba stage, and follow them, learn from them how to rule, how to serve the society, and the like. So, preparing oneself to take the, above all, the most important responsibility, that is serving the society by ruling. So they learn at this stage, and also they are entitled to marry, but not to get children, because children should be gotten at Luba stage, at ruling stage. So at the end of Rabadori stage, they are entitled to marry and to change their life from Cairo to Subo, and then transferring to the Luba stage. At Luba stage, they are given the most responsibility of the society. So the responsibility is ruling the society. This is a mature stage. At this mature stage, they rule in common, in group, not individual. As parties, they transfer power every 8 years from one generation, from one group of ruling or one Gogesa to the other.
The top leaders signed in every Oromo tribe. They made decisions through their respective authority. When decision is being made, all the members of the party or Gogesa will discuss together.
From a small clan level up to the national level, up to nation, clan level, then confederation of clan, then up to the nation, up to the Oromo nation, they share power. So a kind of devolution of power or division of power is there. And also even within the same group, for example, there are in Macha area, there are about 9 major top leaders. Those top leaders deciding together, decide in group, not individual. Ceremonially, there is a Bamuda, the father of anointment, who anointed and blessed the Gada ruling class or the Luba class, and gives the responsibility to the society effectively, and the transfer power after 8 years. That is very necessary. So at this stage, there are 9 members. Those at the top, Bamuda. Next to him, Baboku is there.